He returned home sooner than expected, anticipating the quiet of an empty house. But instead, the billionaire froze completely at his father's bedroom entrance. The maid was bent forward, his weak father holding on to her, both soaked in sweat and shaking as if about to collapse. What seemed improper at first sight was something far deeper, a story of honor, devotion, and unseen loyalty. Before we begin, share in the comments what hour it is where you're watching from. Let's get started. Gently now, Mr. Kane. Slower. Alina's tone was steady, though her arms burned from strain. She kept her body rigid like a pillar, her black uniform pulled tight as she leaned against the white bedding. Samuel Kane gripped her for support, his gray hair bowed low, his tanned shirt soaked through. The legs that once carried him with authority now shook like delicate branches in the breeze. It had been 10 endless months since the stroke, 10 months since the man who once commanded construction empires and boardrooms had been confined to that black yield chair by the window. 10 months of struggling, falling, and trying again. "Just another second standing," Alina murmured, her cheek brushing the blanket. "You're taller than yesterday." Samuel exhaled a hoarse laugh between uneven breaths. "Taller? My legs feel like rubber. I'm hanging on like a drunk man clinging to life." Her jaw stiffened. "Then let me be your balance. Don't resist it. Lean into me." His hands tightened on her shoulder, not with command, but need. "I never thought I'd end up like this, an old man relying on a girl half his size." Alina pressed her heels into the floor, her back aching under his weight. "You're not just an old man. You're someone fighting to rise again, and that counts." He chuckled bitterly, the sound breaking in the air. "Do you realize what it's like to stride into meetings, owning everything, and now to be strapped to that chair just to use the toilet, to depend on a maid just to stand?" Alina's throat tightened. "I understand what it's like to lose pride. Maybe not the same way, but I know." He stared at her, sweat rolling down his temple. You're young, strong." Her arms shook, but she didn't falter. "Strong doesn't mean unhurt. I carried burdens too early. Maybe that's why I can support you now." Samuel's chest heaved, his voice softening. "I hate that my son sees me like this. He once believed I was unbreakable. Now he looks away, afraid of the truth." Tears shimmered in Alina's eyes. "Then let me help you stand when he's not here, so you'll remember who you were before he enters that door." He leaned harder, unsteady, his legs trembling violently. She steadied her stance. "Careful, please," she urged. "I've got you. Just breathe with me. In and out." He tried matching her pace, but each breath rasped like gravel. "If I fall?" "You won't," she cut in firmly, "because I'm not releasing you." He swallowed nervously. "Why do you care so deeply, Alina?" Her muscles trembled, sweat sliding down her forehead. "Because no one cared when I needed someone to hold me. And because you deserve more than pity, you deserve to be believed in." Samuel's mouth quivered, his eyes softened. "You sound just like my late wife." Alina's heart ached. Then maybe she sent me. For a moment, silence settled in the room, two hearts beating in shared pain. Then Samuel's knees buckled suddenly. His body lurched forward, pulling Alina with a sharp cry. "Mr. Kane!" She strained, nails digging into the sheet, her spine nearly snapping. His arm tightened around her shoulders, fear thick in his tone. "Don't drop me, child." "I won't," she gasped, sweat drenching her apron. "I swore I wouldn't." They froze there, his body slumped over hers, her frame trembling like a bridge breaking, his breath hot on her neck as he murmured with shame, "My son mustn't see me like this." Alina closed her eyes, forcing strength through her pain. "Then he won't. We'll finish this. Just us." But destiny had other plans. The door creaked, heavy footsteps echoed softly across the floor. A tall shadow spread wide across the bed. "Father." The voice deep, controlled. yet tinged with concern. Alina stiffened. She didn't need to turn. She knew instantly. It was him, the son. The man in the brown suit. She was still bent, motion frozen, her heart pounding against the silence.
Samuel was gripping her from behind, both of them trembling. To any observer, or to a son unready for what he saw, it would have appeared like something entirely different. Alina's arms shook, her back burning in pain as Samuel's knees gave way once more. She tightened her jaw and whispered through the strain, "Just a little longer, Mr. Kane. The wheelchair's right here. We've got this." Samuel moaned, his voice weak but resolute. "Hold me steady, child. Don't let me fall." Her footsteps squeaked across the glossy floor as she lowered him down. His weight pressed onto her shoulders like heavy iron, but inch by inch she eased him until finally he rested into the black chair. His chest rose and fell in rough gasps, beads of sweat running down his face. Alina staggered back, collapsing against the frame, trying to regain her breath. Her uniform clung to her damp skin, her arms tremoring from the effort. Yet she forced herself to straighten, sensing the piercing gaze locked on her. Dorian Kane stood at the entrance, his tan suit spotless, his expression cold and sharp. "What?" he said slowly. "Did I just witness?" Alina's voice caught, words trapped inside her throat. She understood exactly what it must have seemed like. Her bent forward, his father pressed against her. But the truth was simpler, harder, and far from shameful. Before she could speak, Samuel lifted his head, his tone frail but steady. "Don't stare at her like that, Dorian. She was supporting me, and indirectly helping you." Dorian's eyes tightened. By putting herself in that situation? By taking a risk she shouldn't have? Alina finally found her voice. "There was no one else," she said softly. "The physiotherapist was supposed to arrive this morning, but the session got canceled again." Dorian furrowed his brow. "Canceled? For what reason?" "The manager said it was too costly to keep doing therapy twice a week," answered Alina, her voice shaking but firm. "He told me to just handle it on my own, to follow the printed guide." She gestured toward a folded sheet on the nightstand. The document displayed in bold black letters, transfer steps, count to 3, pivot, chair angled at 45 degrees. Dorian moved closer and snatched it up, his jaw clenching. The truth was clear before him. Samuel rested his trembling hand over Alina's, his tone frail but steady. "Don't stare at her like that, Dorian. She was supporting me, and indirectly helping you." Dorian's eyes tightened. By putting herself in that situation? By taking a risk she shouldn't have? Alina finally found her voice. "All I ask is that he gets the treatment he needs. One person can't replace a professional therapist. It's unsafe for both of us." Dorian's jaw tightened. "The employee who canceled the sessions is dismissed. I'll restore them right away. Double the visits if needed." His gaze met hers. "And you," he said, steady and genuine, "will never have to endure this alone again." Alina's lips trembled, relief flooding through her. "Thank you, sir." Samuel gave a quiet, uneven laugh, weak but proud. "Seems the boy still listens when it matters." Dorian's eyes softened. "I nearly failed both of you today, but I'll fix it." He reached for the handles, his grip steady, his expression determined. For the first time in months, Samuel leaned back, not broken, but dignified. Alina stood beside him, one hand resting lightly on his shoulder. She had poured out every ounce of her strength, yet her gaze said she'd repeat it all again if it meant guarding his pride. And for the first time, Dorian saw the truth. Not shame, not fragility, but devotion and sacrifice.